Okay, good afternoon, my dear friends. I'm going to take a couple of questions, if you are fine with that. Yes? Please.
Thank you. Joseph Klein, Canada Free Press. On February 28th, Bolivia voted against the resolution proposed at that time, which was based on the conclusive findings of the Joint Investigative Mechanism that found that the Syrian regime had used chemical weapons at least 3 times. So I guess I don't understand when you now talk about relying on the UN's multilateralism and impartial investigations, why you rejected the conclusions at that time.
We were very clear. I would like you to check on the records. We voted against that resolution not because we didn't want an investigation, not because we don't want the ones who use chemical weapons to be not just persecuted but punished for those horrendous crimes. But the resolution that was submitted at that time was designed to be vetoed. Why? Because they added in the index a list of names of the ones who were allegedly responsible for those attacks. That list didn't come out from the GIM nor any UN body. It came from intelligence agencies of the ones that submitted the resolution. So there wasn't any reliable information regarding those names, and I think there's something called rule of law, and that's why we voted against that resolution. But we want to make clear that, of course, we condemn any use of chemical weapons, and we want those responsible to be held accountable. And what happened yesterday goes against that very principle, because this is a strike against the Organization of Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, and also of the possibility of finding the truth about what happened. So that's why we wanted this meeting to be held. We are of course happy that it was in the open chamber and for everyone to see.
Sure. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I wanted to ask about the draft of the elected 10 members. It seemed it dropped this operative paragraph 5, which had been, to have them turn over the flight logs, a lot of other stuff. So the permanent 3 seemed to say that this was a weakening. Were all elected 10 members equally behind the draft? I mean, can we really call it an E10 draft, or how would you describe it?
Let me just describe you what happened. There were consultations among the P5. The E10 were never asked to participate in any meetings regarding those resolutions. That usually happens here. That's why I said that there are first-class members of the council and second-class members of the council. So we had a meeting yesterday with the E10, and we presented a proposal. It wasn't a draft. It just was an attempt to get parties together and to talk about language and to come up with a text. But we were surprised that while we were doing that, the United States was preparing an airstrike. And I think that, as we told in the chamber, that's a violation of the UN Charter.
I'm going to ask you the question, if you can answer in Spanish.
Muy bien.
Sabemos que los Estados Unidos, hoy durante su intervención, la embajadora dijo que las acciones de ayer fueron acciones que fueron de alguna manera no tan fuertes como lo pudieran haber hecho, pero que en el futuro, si Bashar al-Assad está buscando hacer otro tipo de ataque, ya que ellos lo han responsabilizado de este ataque, ellos actuarían de nuevo y no les pesaría la mano para hacerlo. ¿Qué piensa usted de esa posibilidad? Y la segunda cosa, usted mencionó que Estados Unidos había sido el investigador, el juez, el fiscal y el jurado durante este ataque, y estas acciones lo demuestran. ¿Cómo esperan ustedes actuar de ahora en adelante?
Bueno, en primer lugar, nosotros condenamos cualquier acción unilateral. Creemos que viola los principios fundamentales de esta organización. Esta organización fue creada con sus defectos, con sus limitaciones, para evitar acciones unilaterales. Y lo que ha sucedido ayer ha sido una violación flagrante de la Carta de las Naciones Unidas y de los principios por los que estamos aquí reunidos. Segundo, nosotros creemos que es imprescindible que la organización no guarde un silencio cómplice ante este tipo de hechos. ¿Sí? Que los miembros del Consejo de Seguridad, y no solo del Consejo de Seguridad, sino el resto de la membresía, se manifieste sobre lo que ha sucedido. Por eso, en mi intervención he recordado lo que hizo el secretario general Ban Ki-moon, que ante una situación similar recordó lo que decía la Carta de las Naciones Unidas y manifestó que cualquier acción unilateral sin autorización, por supuesto, del Consejo de Seguridad, era ilegal en el marco del derecho internacional. Sobre las declaraciones sobre lo que se va a hacer hacia adelante, nosotros vamos a continuar. Miren, Bolivia es un país pequeño, nosotros no tenemos un ejército, pero sí tenemos principios y vamos a defender los principios de la Carta de Naciones Unidas hasta el último aliento. Y vamos a utilizar nuestra membresía en el Consejo de Seguridad porque hemos sido electos por los miembros de la Asamblea General para defender esos principios. Hacia adelante esperemos que después de este ataque se pueda sostener el proceso de Astana y el proceso de Ginebra, primero. Y segundo, que lo que se dice en la Cámara de que no hay solución militar para la situación en Siria, sino que tiene que ser una solución política, se manifiesta en hechos concretos.
Last question. Has the U.S. or Russian diplomats expressed any willingness to further investigate, to further negotiate the three-draft resolution about the use of chemical weapons in Syria? Or because of this airstrike, the time of negotiation is over?
Well, we don't know, but I think the mandates and the institutions are already set in order to investigate these crimes. So we want to know who is responsible. We don't want this to end up in impunity. We remember that in the past this chamber was used to portray lies in order to accomplish some political military ends. I think that the world, the victims, deserve the truth. Thank you very much.